Oh, I forgot to talk about my Gail Lewis update, child. Y'all remember Gail Lewis? Gail Lewis went viral on the TikToks over the summer when she gave her story of being a scorned wife who was cheated on, and the mistress was disrespectful and had been using her credit cards and flying all over. And then we saw the mistress picture. The mistress looked just like her. It was a mess. Then she ran up on her at the airport. Y'all remember Gail Lewis? I know y'all do. Well, Gail Lewis has gone on to her TikTok page yet again. She took a break after that. She took a long break, but now she is back, and she said that she is not going to be silenced, honey. She said, I will not be silenced. And she has given us a little update. And so sit down a spell. We got a story time. We got to listen to Gail Lewis and see what she been up to, okay? We got to see what she been up to since she put her husband and the side chick on blast, okay? Hold on. Listen. Like this video. Y'all know the drill. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for fair use. Gail, Gail, we want to know what's been going on since you had told us. So back here, remember, look, back here. She got a dog just like mine. That look just like Biggie. She was telling us all the tea. She had the listen. Go to her page, Gail Lewis on TikTok. She had all the text messages from the mistress. She ran. She was listen. She was on the same plane with the mistress. They was in the same. They was in the lounge. She ran up on the mistress with her husband, and the mistress was just sitting there. Look. And come to find out, the mistress is colorist Claudia, a good friend of colorist Claudia. I guess they good friends. I don't know. But here she is. She been back. She been quiet for a while, but she back. So we're gonna listen.
Hey y'all, it's been many moons since I have been on here.
Oops.
All is well as can be, and I'm grateful for that. It's been a long year, like most of you
Can
all
y'all
have
hear that?
had a long year, but
Might
hey,
not be
life is
loud enough.
life, and we just keep moving on with it. So in January, I posted a video of my husband and his mistress at the Atlanta airport and shared my story about what happened um, before that day. I kind of went back in time from that day and started telling them my story. And let me say this first. When I decided to share my story while walking blind and walking in the dark, I did so because I wanted to be impactful. And through my pain, hopefully I could help someone else who are in my shoes, who's about to be in my shoes, those who've been in my shoes before, where you can empathize and you understand what that feels like. And I wanted them to know that you don't have to hide or be ashamed because of someone else's actions, or their selfish actions, actually. Um, it was really the start of my healing process. Some of you may agree or disagree with how I decided that I wanted to heal. And it matters not to me because when you have a broken heart or have been deceived and lied to and betrayed, all you want to do is fix your broken heart and you go about it any kind of way you have to. So for me, sharing my story was therapeutic for me, but everybody does things their own way. And I shared about how, you know, basically the immediate aftermath um, of me finding out everything. So I kind of start, share my story that way. Um, yeah, it's been heavy, y'all. And, um, you know, there was no remorse from him. She was happy. She relishing in it. You know, wanted me to know, leaving stuff behind in my car, her panties, her hair, barrettes, things like
Not the
that.
panties.
She and her family were related because then they could have him all to themselves. He paying her way, her mama way, her boyfriend way, her kids way, cash apping everybody, just cash apping everybody. But, he was just being an outstanding boyfriend to her. All while, you know, I was sitting at home thinking he was being a good guy, handling everything for our family. But, such is life. We live and we learn. Um, but he applied the pressure. And that is what he had been doing for a very long time. Um, you know, Calling you up, telling you a queen, sending you flowers, sending your mama flowers, an Louis Vuitton bag just out the blue, a piece of Cartier jewelry out the blue, and this is all in the beginning. This is all a part of that love bombing stuff. Taking you on trips, letting your family go on trips, sending you and your girls on trips, naming perfumes after you, and you know giving you special holidays or 12 days of Christmas and cars for your birthdays and all of that. Like, girl, I've been through all that shit. So, yeah, it's all a game. And it's the games that narcissists play. But I hope you're ready to play that way. So, yeah, it's easy to fall for the trap, though, y'all. It is so easy to fall into that trap. Somebody telling you you're a queen. And if no one has ever, treated you that way before, it is very easy to fall into that trap. Basically writing you authentic love letters, and you thinking they're authentic anyway, but then you find out all they had done was stole some Stevie Wonder, Isley Brothers, and the OJ lyrics, and sent them off, put them off like it was their own. But I'm finding out that a lot of these men who think they got a little cash, they all think they're little puff daddies. More money, more women, and they think, and I found this out later on, that it's okay that since you got a little cash, that's what you can do. But not so, not so. For 27 years, y'all, I thought I had a real diamond.
27.
Not so. But he got to take his mask off of me. But trust and believe, there are many, many more masks to go. Stand by. I'm going to finish my story.
All right, let's look at the next one. Hold on.
Hey, y'all. So I was saying that the stranger in my house wore a mask. I really don't even know what he actually looks like. All I know is how he made me feel, and especially after I found out about all of the affairs. And when I say all, you're going to find out more. But actually, when I found out about this, the
I'm pausing this to say, y'all be mean. Why y'all so mean? You remember when you listen when I talk about Junkie Dineva and all those other things? Like at the end of the day, like you can't tell nobody when to heal or how to hurt or how to feel. You can't hurt somebody and tell them to get over it. Is this her way to get over it? If her therapist say you should talk it out on the internet, let her do it. Let her do her. I ain't even mad at her.
the first affair that I knew
It
about
ain't
with
affecting me.
with Sabrina, all I know is how he made me feel, and some of those emotions were like, or feelings were like, I said I felt worthless, unpretty, old, dirty, lifeless, just to name a few. And um, yeah,
And I say this because a lot of women can relate. Some of y'all maybe can't. Okay, but a lot of women who have been through divorces can relate that feeling of hurt, anger, all of that. You stayed because you were married to this man. Marriage is different than boyfriend and girlfriend. You were committed. So a lot of people stay after people cheat. Like people just don't walk away. Like especially if you didn't invested 27 years, you don't leave your man for that.
and all I can say is the week that I found out, all I could do was cry. I mean, I was weak. I was weak. And in that state of mind, y'all, all kinds of dark thoughts creep into your mind. And that's not a good feeling. I will say just some dark, creepy stuff comes upon you. And yeah, I'm going to just leave that at that. So, but the week that I found everything out, mind you now, they had just gotten back from her birthday trip in Europe. So that next weekend, he was taking her out of town for her anniversary. It was their anniversary trip. So I'm kind of tripping
Anniversary.
because I've gone through all these emotions. I got 3,900 million emotions and they on fire all over the place at this time. So when I found out about this anniversary trip, I was sitting there thinking like, he ain't giving one, not one. He don't care about me and nothing else. This is all about him. So I'm like, okay. So by this time, y'all know I'm sad, I'm angry, and it was just a mess. I mean, I tell you, they ought to make Inside Out 3, where they discuss what happens and show what happens when you find out your spouse is cheating. And I love that movie, Inside Out. I think that's a great movie. But anyway, anywho,
She is
y'all,
long winded, but I'm
my
invested.
emotions were all over the place. And oh, let me say this too. Y'all don't cheat on a former police officer or anybody that got any kind of access to any kind of records. You know, they can find out anything. Phone numbers,
She said, "Don't cheat on a former police officer." No, don't cheat on women. Period. Because most women are investigators at heart. Trust me, I know.
addresses, all kind of connections. Don't do it, big dummies. Don't. It's not even worth it, y'all. It's just so not worth it. So, but anyway. So back to their trip. Now, mind you, now they just got back from this European trip, but they had to take their anniversary trip. So by this time, y'all, I'm heated. I'm heated. Like, oh, they just gonna play in my face like that. They gonna really play in my face. So I will say I was mad. So I I um I text the old girl, text both of them. And mind you, now, a couple of days before, I posted under her pictures because you know she posted all those lovely pictures from her European vacation. So I posted something under one of her pictures, and of course, she quickly took it down. I'm like, well, why you quickly take it down if you ain't doing nothing wrong? Then you
Okay.
leave your picture up. But she or leave my comment up, but she quickly took it down. So and then had the nerve to post a video from Harlem Nights, that Sunshine clip where Richie calls and tells his son to tell the mama that she ain't never coming home. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it is funny to you. I'm like, okay, you
Now
got
she was trolling on the internet, child. Not mama ain't never coming home. Oh, child. Oh, she deserve a slap in the face.
jokes. I like to laugh. I like to laugh. Shit, I like to laugh like anybody else. I got some jokes too. Stand by, y'all.
Oh, we're going to the next one. Hold on, we're going to the next one. Let me go to some of these questions real quick. What y'all say? I'm confused. If your husband knew that you were aware of his affair, then that means that he didn't care. Move on, lady. But listen, Tyler, do you have kids? Have you been married for 27 years? It's easier said than done to move on. And I know that a lot of people can sit on the sidelines and judge, but I ain't gonna judge. I understand marriage. That it hurts. And my man, my husband, my ex didn't even have no money.
Hey,
Hold
y'all.
on, am I on number three?
So Sunshine got jokes. No remorse, but she got jokes. Now, mind you, she didn't make any vows to me, not one. He did, but she got jokes. She got jokes during the most excruciating, painful time of my life, outside my mother passing away. She got jokes. Now I told you about their trip, and I did not put him out of our home when they went on their anniversary trip. He just didn't come back, and he claims that he didn't come back because he thought I was going to do something to him because the
Listen, Black Cherry, I've been there and done this too. I choose me now, okay? But when you in the midst of the storm, when your heart is broken, sometimes you don't even know what choosing you is. I mean, just give people grace sometimes. I'm just saying, you might be stronger than her.
was the last time he spoke with me in person, my eyes were half closed. I was like, yeah, right. I was like, let me tell you something. I wasn't going to jail for that ninja. I ain't going to jail for these kids. I ain't going to jail for you. That ride or die shit, yeah. I'm a ride. I'm a ride all day long. Dying, I ain't doing that. And that's on everything I love. And a little bit of this prosecco that's left. That's on everything. No, I'll ride with you and I'm gonna support you. I ain't dying and not over none of this anyway. Her, him, none of them. Just not gonna do it. But I was like, okay. So, um, so during that time, y'all, this was it was pure insanity. I know that. And I'd asked him to come to get his belongings, come get his clothes and some of the other stuff that he had left out the house and left at the house because it was driving me nuts. The smell of him, the thought of him, just the memories of the home. I mean, during that time, it was just, it was, it was pure insanity for me. And I just couldn't think right. Couldn't, I mean, it was like I was walking around in circles and I really needed him to come and get his stuff. But of course, he gonna be all manly and talk about this my house. I paid a mortgage there, and I'm like, well, that ain't fair to me. You moved her here from California to Atlanta. You paying her mortgage too. Go live where you want to be. Like it's not fair to me. Like this is not fair to me at all. But I was like, but okay. I was like, okay.
Now he paying everybody
But
mortgage.
anyway, I need to put my police hat on and try to get them emotions under control because the handwriting was on the wall and I knew what I was going to have to do. I know I'm not that kind of lady that was going to play that game. And like I said, he had no remorse. She had no remorse. And I was like, I got to get the hustling around here and try to, find some things out because I trusted him with everything. Let's just say this. My investigations turned up some brutal stuff. I mean, really, really brutal. That had an emotional toll. Just damaging stuff all the way around. So I mean, think about you know him professing her love to her, and she professing her love to him, and her talking about his love making and how she was craving him, and she couldn't wait till the next time. Like, don't a wife want to read that kind of shit? But I had to, and I did. I did, and it's indescribable, actually. And actually, you know, it's humiliating. It is really humiliating because this woman knew about me. She's watching me at basketball games. She's in the same restaurants where he and I having dinner, watching us. He laughing, she laughing across the room. I can see her with her and her friends laughing across the room. Now that I think about it, I was like, wow.
Not her and her friends laughing across the room. I bet you colorist Claudia was sitting right next to her.
I had some friends that remind me of some times we were out to dinner. They were like, she was there at the restaurant when we were all having dinner with her crew. And I'm like, how bold. I mean, just how bold of him and her. And I didn't have a clue. But I'm like, but what's a wife to do? What you supposed to do? I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna tell you.
All right, she gonna tell us. Hold on, what number we on, child?
Hey y'all. So while I was contemplating ending my marriage, I spoke with several attorneys. Um, yeah, I think it was maybe like 2 weeks in after I kind of found everything out. And some of the questions they asked me were pretty tough. And, I didn't know the answer to it. And I felt really, really dumb because, for 26 years, I let someone else control everything because I trusted him after all that time. So I didn't know where anything was, what we had, any of that. I only knew what he told me. So I really did have to go investigate. And there were specific things that the attorneys told me that I needed to look for to kind of prove some things if indeed I did decide to file for divorce. So as I, was going through all this, my mind is just completely, it's spinning. It was like a Cirque du Soleil show. I mean, it was flipping, spinning, twisting, twerking, you name it, my mind was doing it. So it just was not a good time emotionally for me. And anybody who's been through this will probably can attest to this, that, it's such an emotional time. You try to take the emotion out of it, but it's hard to do when it's still so fresh and so new. It's just like, this salty, it's just like this open wound that just kept getting salt and vinegar and everything else poured into it. So I had to, I had to pray to God to ask him to help me find what I needed to find out and to where to start. I didn't even know where to start. That's how confusing this whole situation was to me at that time. But when I tell you, when I asked, he answered. And when I started finding stuff out, like I said previously, it was brutal. and I had to, read and see a lot of things that I really did not need to see. I wouldn't put that on anybody. And it was to the point where, I was sharing some things with my friends and they were like, girl, stop reading. Don't look for anything else. You're finding out too much, because I was just so, it was overwhelming. It was truly overwhelming. So while I needed to find those things out, it actually broke my heart even worse. I mean, it shattered really into 1,000 pieces, because, like I said, nobody wants to read about their spouse being with someone else. It's one thing to know that your spouse is cheated, but when you get to see the intimate detail.
Listen, Paige, I was too. I was too. It's oh my God, it's the worst feeling in the world. When you trust somebody, when you have committed to somebody, you have married them under the laws of the law and God, and they do some man, is no other feeling like it. I can't explain it, but that's why I'm invested in this story.
Else, and the pictures and the I love yous is going back and forth during my whole marriage. Because, to make a long story short, this was happening the whole marriage. So while I'm thinking it was just Sabrina, after I finished doing my investigation of him and Sabrina, and I cried hard when I read that. And then the next one is like, when I finished, investigating Sabrina, here come Cassandra. I'm like, well, who was Cassandra? Then the next one, it was like, well, who is Myra? Then it was the next one. It was like, well, who was Patrice? I mean, and this was just going on. Like, it was like that damn DMX song. It was like Patrice, Latrice, Cassandra, Blessed,
Damn.
Latoya, Valentina. That shit was absolutely nuts, y'all. I promise you. And it got to the point that at a certain point, I stopped crying and I actually kind of got scared and was like, who really is this? Like, who am I really married to? But the crazy part about all that is, he was still being cocky as hell, because I actually reached out to him and was like, this is pathetic. Like, you're pathetic. This whole thing is pathetic. He was still being real cocky. So I will tell you this before I take it in for the night. I was really upset. I done found all these women. And I remember talking to a girlfriend, and I was like, some of these women knew about me. I said, some didn't, but a lot of them did. They knew who I was, had been at events with me, had seen me, had spoken to me, had served me food, like the old girl at
Atlanta is a
Stony
small
River,
place.
Fatima, or whatever her name was. You sitting here serving me food and knowing the whole time that he financing your whole lifestyle and your everything you're doing. I'm like, that was not cool to me. So what I did, and I know this is not going to be looked upon favorably, but it is what it is. So what I did was, after I found like the first 20 women, and this is in just like a
Not
5-year
20.
span that I'm finding all these women, and it was more than that actually. But the first 20, I actually sent them all. It was crazy. I actually put them all on a group text and talked shit to him about him, and then put his picture in it too. And this is before I filed for divorce or any of that, because I was just angry. I mean, I was angry, angry, angry. So the crazy part was, some of them responded back. So there was some responded back like, this the wrong number. And I'm like, well, if it's the wrong number, Latoya, then block me. Then somebody else would come on talking about, oh, you losing your power. I was like, no, I'm regaining my power back. And if this not you, Monique, get off the thread, Monique. Then it was somebody else. It was crazy, So these women were responding like, I don't know who you are. Well, if you don't know who I am and you want to give me advice, if this don't concern you, just block the call. This is not your number. So that did happen. That was kind of crazy. And what I did, I reached out to those women, because I'm like, if you're gonna be a gangster, and like, why I got to protect y'all? Nobody was protecting me. He didn't care. They didn't care. So now all of a sudden, everybody was thinking I'm supposed to, protect their feelings and how they feel. Like, nobody was concerned about mine. You knew he had a wife. He knew he had a wife, and nobody was concerned about me. So as far as I was concerned, I was like, well, okay, well, all of y'all can get some of this. And that may not have been the
Okay,
best thing
Gail.
to do, but I did it, and it felt good in the moment. It sure did. So stand by, because this story gets crazier.
Oh Lord. Okay. Let's see what the next one say.
Hey, y'all. So I did text message his harem of harlots. Just 20 of them, though, y'all. I didn't know that I could have done a group me and put everybody in it, because it was way, way, way more than that, more than I really ever anticipated. And this wasn't even the talking about the whole marriage. This was just for the 10 years that I could go back and find what I could. And was my reaction to their actions with my disrespectful walk and lie of a husband mature? Absolutely not. But it was necessary for me, for him and for them. Because you just can't play with people's lives and then think that it's just going to be okay. Telling lie after lie. Y'all just tell the truth. The truth will do every time. And there were many nights where I, I didn't even cry. I wept. And that's a different kind of emotion. That is very draining. It's hurtful. It's beyond hurtful. Hurtful is not even the right word. And there were nights where every day actually, it felt like I had a ton of bricks on my chest. Nobody should have to go through that. So, my purpose here is to let you all know, like, live right, do right, and I'm hoping that this is not fun and game for any of us. And I'm not looking back. Somebody put in the comments about somebody was looking back. Girl, I'm not looking back in my rear view mirror. I'm looking ahead. But I'm trying to give a warning to those of you all out here who are putting all your trust, all your eggs in that one basket. I'm not saying to not be submissive to
Some
your
people need to hear
husbands
it.
or not trust your man or your female, because this goes both ways. But just be, just keep your eyes and your ears open. And I just wish I had, listened to the words of my mother years ago. She was like, always be prepared for the rainy day. And I wasn't prepared for the rainy day. So that's on me. So I can't blame all those women, because he knew he was married. Now some of them knew he was married too. I just didn't like the disrespect, where if they knew he planned some event, why would you come to an event that my husband planned, and that I'm going to be there, and walk around the room and come smile in my face and do all that? That's sickening to me, y'all. And I can't deal with that. But you know, he dirty, his people dirty, and I just don't know what kind of thrill a man gets from that, from having women that he's having sex with in the same room with his wife, and just making up lie after lie. Anytime I had surgeries, it was always some kind of reason he could not be there. Or if he was there, he left the next day to go have sex with Pat in Dallas, or
Oh
Monique,
shit.
or whoever else, and Dania and Janice and Nicole, the whole little mortgage little whores they had over there down in Dallas at that company. So yeah, that's not cool for any of that. And the other thing that really trips me out is I didn't know how gullible women were. I'm gullible, but some of these women, when I say most of them, when I say y'all, I didn't know that people were sending naked pictures. I've seen more booby pictures, cootie pictures, just all kind of pictures from professional women. I'm like, now you should know better than this. You should know better. But I guess getting those LV bags and the designer bags and the trips and the money and the dinners and him doing whatever he was doing and y'all doing whatever you were doing to him, I guess it was worth it for you. So I guess there is a price for everything. They put a price on it. He put a price on it, but you can't put a price on someone's feelings and someone's life, and you just can't play those kind of games with people. So, and that's all I'm trying to do, y'all. I'm not moving, not backpedaling. And for all you all who got some stuff to say, you can talk and say whatever you want to say. No one can judge me. There's only one person who can judge me, and he will have the final say in the end. I just want to
Amen.
help people as best as I can. And it's just me sharing my story. And for all of you all um, that are going through this, I'm just going to say, hold on, just pray, and you'll figure it out, and you'll get your answer. And just because, I decided to go one way, and if you decide to stay, go, or do whatever else, do that. But you do what's best for you and for your family. I had to do what was best for me, for my health, for my mental well-being, the whole shebang, y'all. So I just want to say thank you guys for letting me share my story. I ain't done. I'm just tired tonight. I'm going to sleep. I'm ready to go to sleep now. But there is more to this story than you can ever imagine. I'm just sharing a little bit. But when I come back, I am, and I'm going to, take a little time off, but I want to tell you all about Andre. And I don't know no girls named Andre. Maybe you do. Hey, y'all. So while I was contemplating
Wait.
ending my
Wait. I just, wait. Andre. Wait. Do I need to keep going? Wait, we got two more. Andre. I'm gonna watch these last two because hopefully she told us about Andre in one of
Hey,
these.
y'all. I wanted to come on here and clear some things up.
Andre.
First,
Oh
I have
shit.
the right to express myself and to tell my story. For some reason, people are offended by my authentic account of a road I'm traveling. And my message to those people is stay off my road, or better yet, stay off my social media. As I've said before, this has been a healing balm for me. And I hope my journey has helped someone else ponder and prepare for life's unexpected bumps. Long story short, y'all, I'm kind of being strong armed to stay silent and not tell my story
Tell your story, Gail.
because I guess some people don't like what they look like in a mirror.
Bump him.
It's just amazing to me um, how demons don't like the truth.
They don't.
So before I can move forward, I have to clear up some unnecessary drama.
Oh Lord.
So before I can talk about my Andre interaction,
Oh,
which will be soon, I have to get this stuff cleared up first, y'all.
okay. Let's hear it.
But I wanted you to know that I'm in a great place. I'm in a good space. I'm single. I'm free. I'm getting back to me. So
Amen.
much so that I've even changed my name back to my original name. I'm going back to the only thing that's ever been given to me that didn't come at a cost.
Oh,
Also know that, on this journey, I have not lost a thing. I have learned and I have gained. And all of the pits and ditches that people dug for me and tried to push me in um, over the years, the last few years particularly, I want to say that what those devils did for evil, God worked it out for my good. So there is so much more
won't
I
he
want to
do it?
share with you all. And I want to encourage anyone who has been on my journey, who's on the journey, or about to go into this go on this journey, know that you will make it through. Not saying it's easy, it is tough. It has been one of the toughest things that I've ever been through, y'all. But you can make it to the other side. You can. So I'm just here to encourage you to hold on and to stay strong, just as you all have encouraged me. And I want to thank you for that. And once I get all of this unnecessary stuff handled, I'll be back and want to share some more with you guys. Thanks again for your support. Peace.
Oh, Lord. We need to know who Andre is. We need to know. She got one more that she did today. Hold on. We need to know who Andre is.
Hey, y'all. I wanted to share something that happened to me this weekend. I spent the weekend over at Morehouse College celebrating homecoming with my
Yes,
Morehouse
Spell
brothers and
House.
my Spelman sisters, and it was wonderful. But I wanted to share this part that while I was walking around, I was stopped by several people who have been following my story. And at first, I was kind of a little bashful and I won't say ashamed, but kind of like, oh, kind of felt kind of icky about it. But there were so many positive responses that it really just brought joy to my heart and let me know that, me telling my story, hasn't been in vain. So I just thought that was just, I thought that was amazing. So, and I'm the type that I've never done anything spectacular in my life. I'm just a small town girl from Smithfield, Virginia. Just always been Gail, little Gail Wells from Smithfield, Virginia. But I've always wanted to have an impact in life. I went to Spelman, we're supposed to do world changers. So I'm hoping that whatever I have done or said will help someone to be able to express their voice, speak your words, and don't let people try to shut you down because they don't think it's proper or it's embarrassing and it's humiliating and just go live in shame. That is not who I am. And this is just the way I decided to tell my story. And y'all, I know I'm not going to be the first woman to get cheated on. I won't be the last woman to get cheated on. Um, that's a part of life. So I get that. But I think the part for me was the blatant disrespect that came from the situation. I mean, you calling someone fiance while you got a whole wife, you know, You on dating sites, Match.com, Black Singles Meet, you name it, they doing it, doing the steal, but supposed to be so in love, still sending money to Blesseth and Latoya and probably Andre too, to keep everybody shut up at this point. But it's just certain things that you don't want to, you can't tolerate after a certain amount of time, especially once you find out.
He's a bank executive, Dallas. He's a bank executive. If you Google it on YouTube, do a search, like over the summer, it was trending when she first came out and told her story. Everybody pulled receipts on him, his job. It was trending, child. But this is the update months later. So I'm just following up.
Out. I never knew all this was happening, but once I found out, just how disrespectful all of these actions were, it really made me decide to, like, to speak my this to speak. And that's what it is, you taking my kid to have sex with prostitutes and strippers because you want him to be a man. It's like dumb shit like that, and
Wait, he didn't pull the little boosie? He done took the son to, oh jeez. This needs to be a story. This needs a movie. This needs what the hell?
you know, and on top of that, going out and having sex with all these different people through the years, through the whole marriage, and probably half of it was probably unprotected. So imagine the horror for me once I found all of this out. I mean, y'all, you have no idea how terrifying that is. And you got to go have your blood pulled and tested for every known disease, every disease known to man. That's crazy, y'all. You have no idea. And maybe some of you do if you've been through it. But that is
Oh
crazy.
God.
But I just wanted to say, you know, you don't have to sit back and just take someone's BS to protect them and their character and how they're made to feel. Nope, I had feelings too, and there was no disregard. There was no regard for mine. It was complete disregard for how I feel, from my health, my mental well-being, all of that. So I just want to say thank you guys for your support, and yeah, I want to say thank you. But I had another little tidbit for you all too that I've learned through this whole process, because everything that I've been through, I wanted to also be a learning lesson. So for anybody that's married or in a relationship, and any of you all have insurance policies, make sure check your policies, because I did not know that you could have a wife, a spouse, and or whoever, or fiance, all on the same insurance policy. So word to the wise, y'all need to check that kind of stuff so you don't be surprised, you know, if something happens and you're thinking you're the only one that would be due what is truly due to you. So check that, y'all, because you may have a policy and your spouse may have a policy on you, and they got your mama as the lead, and then somebody, you got to deal with someone else doling out what's rightfully yours to you, and that's not
Wow.
cool. So that's just my tip for you all tonight over some of the things that I have learned through my process. But I hope to talk to you all soon. Have a good one. Mwah.
Whew. This is Gail Lewis. Okay, Gail Lewis on TikTok. She went viral a few months ago. If you want to watch the original video, I'm sure it's in my archives as well as the archives on YouTube. I just wanted to follow up with an update, child, because I had saw one of them. I was like, let me go ahead and watch them all. I didn't realize it was gonna be this long, but because she's long winded. But I got invested. I need to hear the whole story. Okay, definitely follow and set them notifications because I need I need to know who Andre is. Look, we need to know who Andre is, Gail. We is invested in this storyline, okay? It's a mess. Real life be stranger than fiction, y'all.